seal should remind all who behold it that liberty is preserved.
On the 4th of July, 1776, right after the Continental Congress approved the Declaration of Independence, it formed the committee of John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and Benjamin Franklin. Their mission was to design a seal for the newborn nation that was the nascent United States. Two of the suggestions that these founding fathers put forward drew on the Hebrew Bible, specifically the Exodus story. Benjamin Franklin proposed a seal that featured in part a depiction of Moses and Pharaoh at the splitting of the sea, with, as we can read in Franklin's own handwriting, rays of light extending from God to Moses, signaling that he acts by the command of the deity. Jefferson, in contrast, suggested another episode from the very same story, as John Adams wrote about the committee's work to his wife Abigail. Mr. Jefferson proposes the children of Israel in the wilderness, guided by a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Both of these suggestions are incredible, extraordinary, inspiring, reflecting the way in which the Bible in general and the Exodus story in particular was central to the patriotic imaginations of the leaders and founders in the Revolutionary era. The suggestions are also somewhat different from one another, each teaching us important lessons. Jefferson sought to express in his chosen image freedom as a journey and the courage of a people on this journey to remain loyal to their covenantal calling in a challenging time. And of course, the courage of a people was central to the unfolding of the American Revolution. As Thomas Paine would write during the difficult period of Valley Forge, "These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from service of their country. They that stand by it now deserve the love and gratitude of man and woman." Franklin, in contrast, chose as his selected symbol of America one of the greatest miracles in the history of humankind. The suggestion reflects the way in which so many Americans reacted with wonder and awe to the extraordinary series of events that brought the revolution about, seeing in them the providential hand of God. Someone wrote to Jefferson himself during the revolution, "Do you not believe that there is an angel in the whirlwind that directs this storm?" As a motto to accompany his proposal for the seal, Franklin suggested the following words: "Rebellion to tyrants, obedience to God." Drawing inspiration from the Exodus story in communicating a central theme of the American Revolution and of the American idea, that our liberties come from God, are granted by God, and are not the gift of government. It was Rabbi Jonathan Sacks who reflected, if the Russian and French revolutions immediately descended into tyranny, while the American Revolution led to a birth of freedom and an expansion of equality, it was because these European revolutions were rooted in secular philosophy and brought about political systems that enshrined the rights of citizens and the power of the state. In contrast, the American Revolution was inspired by the Bible and saw rights as rooted in a power higher than the state itself. Or, as Rabbi Sacks further reflected, the lesson of the Russian and French revolutions is that societies that exile God lead to the eclipse of man. In the end, neither of these suggestions were adopted by the Continental Congress. It had a war on its hands. It was addressing attacks by the mightiest empire on earth, and only turned to the seal again after the revolution was won. But the story of the Exodus and the lessons learned from the liberation of the children of Israel in the Hebrew Bible continued to impact America and its culture. When Cecil B. DeMille produced the most successful movie of his time, the Ten Commandments, the millions of moviegoers that entered the theater to see the Exodus story brought to life on screen first encountered the director himself, who spoke to the audience, saying that Exodus asks us the question whether we are slaves under Pharaoh or free children under God. The same question, DeMille concluded, is being asked today. Thus was the Exodus cited in holding America up as a beacon of freedom during the Cold War. Today, of course, our culture is less biblically inspired. When DeMille returned from the Middle East from filming the Ten Commandments, he bestowed as a gift the 2 tablets that he had utilized in his cinematic production to Mount Sinai Hospital in Los Angeles. They were affixed to the walls of that very edifice in a ceremony attended by First Lady Pat Nixon and the Governor and First Lady of California, Ronald and Nancy Reagan. As Mount Sinai became Cedar Sinai, the tablets no longer adorned the walls of the hospital, but they were rediscovered recently in storage. And when I spoke at that location, I was able to hold those famous tablets in my arms as I pondered to myself the way in which the Exodus story from 1776 through the 20th century inspired America and taught us so much about the nature of liberty and of the way in which our rights come from God. As we mark the 250th anniversary, not only of the Declaration of Independence, but also of the formation of the SEAL Committee of Franklin, Adams, and Jefferson, we return to the Exodus story once again, allowing it to inspire us. And as we remember that episode, we pray that America embody both the unfolding journey of liberty and obedience to God for years into the future.